As promised, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for day one of the Brawl Stars World Finals Teams Predictions, where most of the point lies in our quest to accumulate 1,000 points so we can get that free Rage Quit Tara skin. Now, it has a very important disclaimer before we get into anything. I am putting this video out here so you guys can copy my homework. Who doesn't like copying homework? Especially for those of you out there who feel a little bit overwhelmed by things like this or a little bit underprepared when it comes to the Brawl Stars esports side of things. However, when it comes to predicting Brawl Stars World Finalist teams, it's never 100% certain or anything like that. All of these teams that made it here are phenomenal players to be able to make it here. A lot of crazy things can happen in this type of setting, an upset, bad draft picks from a particular team. So basically, even though I did almost everything I possibly can when it comes to the research and leading up to these predictions, anything can happen. So if you decide to copy my homework, we're in this boat together. We win together, we fail together. No hard feelings, okay? But let's get into this. Starting things off here in today's video, taking a look at the Brawl Stars esports Twitter page, which I got a feeling we're going to be visiting quite often here as of recently. But the tweet says, predictions on the event.brawlstars.com are live. I'll be leaving this link as well in the description down below so you can literally open that tab while you're watching this video and make your predictions with me. So heading on over to the website, here in the day one predictions only, we're going to have to go over some of the basics of this website as well as some additional info that's going to be important for accumulating points outside of the predictions. It's going to be a one-time thing, but I think it's going to be very valuable for you guys who didn't do this last year. So of course, step one, make sure you're logged into the account that you want this Rage Quit Tara skin as the end goal here on the very top right-hand corner of the screen. Make sure to keep in mind you can do this on multiple accounts, though it's going to be very, very hard to accumulate points once the actual showing of the World Finals is going, because you're going to have to go on multiple browsers. However, if your predictions are sound, you could potentially do this on literally every single one of your accounts if you log into each of them and make these predictions. Also, if you don't have Tara on a particular account and you get 1,000 points, you will be unlocking Tara as well as the Rage Quit Tara skin. I'm going to be making a cursed account using this method here. If we click on a profile in the top right hand corner, we can see the points that we've accumulated thus far. And if we scroll down, we'll have access to the day one predictions. Today is strictly going to be the predictions for day number one. We're going to take this day by day, upload by upload. Once day two predictions opens, we'll have another video out for all of you guys on those. Just in case something happens in between those days, I suspect nothing will, but if we get some additional info on maybe ways to get additional points, I think it'll be important to keep you guys updated on those types of things while we're going through this process. Before we get into that, it's important to go over the other ways to get points outside of predictions. You can accumulate a good chunk of points just by watching the World Finals and interacting in different ways. Now, to get these points by interacting with different things during the World Finals, you need to view the World Finals through this website. If you're watching it on Twitch or on YouTube, you won't be getting these prompts. It's strictly through the Brawl Stars event.brawlstars.com platform here, which again is in the link in the description down below and what we're looking at right now. One of which is really, really important, and that is the random questions that'll pop up. It'll just be Brawl Stars trivia, like how many brawlers are in the epic rarity? How many gems do you need to collect in gem grab? And some of them can get a little bit tricky, but it's not gonna kill you. I would advise having like a little group chat going or having someone to bounce off ideas from. It's what I do during every single monthly finals to get the correct answers. But if you happen to just click and get the answer wrong, I believe you get 5 points, and if you get the answer right, you will get, I believe, 25 points. So you can get quite a bit of points just from those random questions. Another really solid way to get points while watching the live stream is voting for the MVP of the match that just went down. I would advise to try your best not to miss out on these MVP picks because in particular, they are incredibly easy to get the maximum points from. All you have to do is once the prompt pops up for your vote on the MVP is to click on any of them and then find out which one is the most popular and change your vote to the MVP. The MVP of the match is based on the viewership's vote, so literally what you are doing, so you can just switch it to what the most popular one is and you'll get the full points. And this one is actually pretty dang solid. I don't know the exact amount, but I believe it's around 50-ish points, somewhere in the ballpark of that, so it's going to be some really good point collection for the MVP there. And then the final way, and it's pretty dang minuscule, but hey, points are points, is to cheer for the teams that are playing. It's going to pop up as an icon in the lower left-hand corner. I believe it's a smiling face emoji. Once you click on it, I think you'll get like 5 or 10 points for doing so. But don't sweat, if the live stream is during a particular time where you can't watch it and get these points through viewing the World Finals, you'll still be able to get plenty of points through the predictions alone if we nail them. Last year, I wasn't able to watch the World Finals because it was at like 2 a.m. and we were able to get the Cat Burglar Jesse skin just by the predictions on day 2. We didn't even need day 3. So again, hoping to crush these predictions here for all of you guys. But with all of that out of the way, we're never going to have to revisit this info in these prediction videos, but seeing that the sole purpose for these videos is to unlock that free skin, it's very important to go over all of the avenues to accumulate points during this process here, but we can finally make it into the predictions for day 1. I've reached out to countless pro players, I would say countless semi-pro players. I've looked at casters' votes, I've looked at community votes to get us to this point. So I feel like most of the predictions here are an accumulation of data. So we're going off of that, not necessarily biased towards certain teams. I'm a Tribe fan, I'm on Tribe, but if I think a team is going to beat Tribe, I'm going to vote against them for the sake of your points. So the teams that we're going to be voting for today are in this bracket. The way that the World Finals is going to be going down here is day 1 is between these teams and day 2 is going to be these teams in the lower bracket. And from experience, day 1 and day 2 predictions are by far the easiest when it comes to these things. Even though all these teams are phenomenal, they need to be to make it to the Brawl Stars World Finals, there's still teams in particular that stand out from the rest, right? There's a hierarchy here as well. But then day 3, it's literally predicting the rest of the tournament, the semifinals, and then who's going to win in the end, which you can expect to be really challenging. So we're going to try to really nail day 1 and day 2 as accurately as we can, and I think we'll be able to do that in these predictions. However, once we make it to day 3, it's literally a toss in the coin for myself as well. I cannot guarantee the accuracy of the predictions for day 3. But booting up into the predictions itself for day 1, clicking on day 1 to get into it, we have Zeta Division 1 versus Chazmac Gaming EU leading off the World Finals. And I'm not going to lie, you guys, this is by far the easiest vote that we can make here for day 1. Zeta Division 1 and 0 are the only teams that qualified in their division. And Zeta Division 1, the team that is going up against Chazmac EU, was the team that won the Brawl Stars World Finals last year. So they're really solid. It's pretty much so in collective agreement across all of the pro players in the Brawl Stars esports scene that Zeta are the top dogs. They are insanely good. They're strongly favored to not only win this game, but literally win the entire Brawl Stars World Finals. So I think this is a no-brainer. You should be going with Z1 here. Picking it and moving on. For game 2, we have Reply Totem versus Vatra Gaming. Vatra Gaming is a NA team and Reply Totem is for EU. I followed the NA monthly finals a little bit closer than any of the other regions just because I'm here. So I've seen Vatra quite a bit and they're a really solid team. If we take a look at the point totals, and if you guys want access to this website in particular to look at all the different points accumulated for the different regions, I'll be leaving that in the description as well. But here in the NA region, they finished 2nd behind Tribe Gaming, so very solid team. However, Reply Totem also finished 2nd here in the EMEA, the EU region, and I'm not gonna lie, I think the EU region has much more competition than a lot of the other regions here, looking at 6 people qualifying. Vatra is incredibly fun to play. Their team is one that I would root for if Tribe NA was out of the tournament. If they ended up losing, they are just super fun to watch. However, most of the predictions that I've been seeing as well as the data backs Reply Totem quite heavily. Just going off of predictions itself from multiple people inside the community, I've seen like 80% of people voting for Reply Totem. If you're uncertain, most of the time it's a safe bet to go with what the popular pick is, and that is Reply Totem here for game 2. But now for game 3, we have AC Milan Clash versus STMN Esports. I think personally this one is tied for the hardest, if not the hardest guess to make here. Both are phenomenal teams. I don't think there's going to be a blowout here in the slightest. It's probably going to be like a 3-2 finish. AC Milan Clash dominated their region with 1,110 points, and STMN accumulated 795 points here in the NA region. Spen LC, a phenomenal pro player, the GOAT. If you guys don't know who he is, make sure to check him out. But he ended up recording so much data over the scrims that these pro players were having, basically preparing for the World Finals up against the teams that they're playing leading up to this World Finals. And they had pretty similar results when it comes to win rate during these scrims. So it's a very, very close battle. And I think what's going to push it over for me is community vote, as well as pro players, the pro players that are competing in the World Finals opinions here. The most popular pick that I'm seeing in the community is STMN. I reached out to pro players that are currently in Paris as we speak, and they also voted for STMN. We even have Ready Set, the caster for the World Finals, predicting that STMN is going to win the entire Brawl Stars World Finals. So again, this is probably going to be the closest pick when it comes to this day 1 prediction. So if you're feeling uncertain with STMN in my prediction here, it's no sweat off my back if you decide to go with Clash, but I'm going to be going with the majority. Once again, if I'm uncertain, I'm always going to be going with the popular pick that the community goes with. So I'm going with STMN for third game. But then we round the corner for the last pick here for the day 1 predictions. We have Stalwart Esports versus Queso. I would say this one is tied with the more difficult prediction. This one is pretty dang close to the difficulty of the last one we just did. I mean, for goodness sakes, if we take a look at Stalwart, they had 1,186 points in their region, with second place having 440, which I feel like points can be a little bit misleading sometimes, especially depending on the region. If there's not really an overly competitive region, I don't necessarily recognize most of these teams competing here. A good team can just run away with it. So there is a lot of support for Stalwart here. Tons of fans showing their love for this team and admiration in the World Finals. But what I've been seeing the most from the community and pro players, pretty dang sound when it comes to this prediction, is Team Queso taking the win. This one's going to be very, very hard. Again, probably going to be a super close match here at the end of things, but my gut feeling and what the community is going with and pro players is Team Queso, so I'm going to be going with the majority as well. And I feel like Team Queso is a very solid team. The EU region is super competitive, and they happen to go to the World Finals, so a very solid team, and I think they're going to win here for the final match during day 1 predictions. So we're going to be going with it, and we're locking it in, baby. Now, the cool thing about the website is if we have these predictions already made, we can always switch them if we're feeling uncertain and stuff like that. But as soon as you submit it, dude, you're locked in, and that's going to be my votes here for day 1. Submit predictions submitted for day 1. We can no longer change them, and that's the way it's going to go. Also, just by predicting, you get 80 points, so that's something. So we all are off to a solid start here. Now, again, as we're nearing the end of this video here today, predictions are predictions. Seeing that we're in the World Finals, it's never going to be easy. Upsets are going to happen. Even the most incredible teams can buckle under the pressure of a World Final setting. So everything is really up in the air, but I think this is a really solid prediction for the very first day based on community prediction, pro player input, as well as performance leading into the World Finals and scrims percentages. So crossing my fingers, these do good for you guys, because I'm in the same boat along with all of you. It's my main account. I want to get this skin as well. But either way, even if this day doesn't go super hot, we still got plenty of other ways to accumulate points. It's not super desperate here right from the get-go. But that is day 1 predictions in the books. As soon as day 2 is open and we're able to make predictions on that, I'll be getting that guide out to you all ASAP. So yeah, hopefully this all goes well and we can get that Tara skin here together. I desperately want it, especially for my cursed account. But yeah, everyone, hope you all found this video useful. Hope you guys are excited for the Brawl Stars World Finals. It's going to be a fun event nonetheless. And yeah, have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Make sure to stay tuned for that day 2 predictions. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you all in the next one. Adios and take care.